Hey guys, today we will look at how to use WebTransport with Centrifugo or Centrifugo with WebTransport. Some of you know that we recently released Centrifugo v4, and one of the features of v4 release is WebTransport. WebTransport is a low latency transport to communicate between client and server. WebTransport is based on HTTP3, and actually to use WebTransport you need HTTP3 server. Luckily, Centrifugo v4 supports HTTP3 also in experimental form. So today we will look how to use both, how to run Centrifugo with HTTP3 and how to run WebTransport endpoint, and how to connect to that endpoint using our JavaScript client. The documentation about WebTransport located here in WebTransport documentation chapter, and actually here what you need to configure WebTransport in Centrifugo. You need to enable HTTP3, you need to provide TLS certificates, and you need to enable WebTransport endpoint. So let's start. We will open a terminal and let's look what we have in this directory. So we have a Centrifugo binary. You can install Centrifugo in any way you want. This is possible with many ways, including Docker image. And we also have index.html file here, and we will look at its content a bit later. So first thing to do is let's generate configuration. A basic configuration for Centrifugo. We used gen-config command for this. So it generates some configuration to start with some random secret keys. Let's open this in VS Code. In this example, we will connect from HTTP localhost 3000. So let's add it to list of allowed regions in Centrifugo. Configuration. Here it is. Let's also enable admin web interface. And let's copy everything we need for WebTransport from documentation. Okay, let's try to run Centrifugo. We need to generate proper certificates, right? We don't have them yet. To generate certificates, we will use a very nice tool called mkcert. This is a zero config tool to make locally trusted development certificates. So I'm using macOS and I already installed mkcert on my machine using these instructions. I also installed NSS program because I am using Firefox sometimes. And after installing mkcert, you need to run mkcert-install. Let's do this. And this command installs local CA to System Trust Store, also to Firefox Trust Store if you installed NSS program. Now to generate certificates for localhost, all we need to do is run mkcert localhost. And we can see that this command added 2 files into current directory. this is our certificate files. Now let's open Centrifugo configuration and put those files into tls-cert and tls-k key config fields. Localhost key 10. And let's try to start Centrifugo again. Nice. We see that Centrifugo started and it serves WebTransport endpoint and it uses experimental HTTP3 server. Let's split the terminal. So now let's look at index.html, which contains JavaScript code of our application. This is a basic JavaScript application which loads our Centrifuge.js client from CDN. Centrifuge.js is our JavaScript client SDK to communicate with Centrifugo. Its main transport is WebSocket, but it now supports WebTransport experimentally. So let's get back to index.html. We are putting WebTransport endpoint to Centrifuge.js transport configuration. Note that we are using HTTPS scheme here. This is required for HTTP3 and WebTransport communication. And then after configuring an instance of Centrifuge object, we are listening to connection events and connect to a server. Here we need to fill one more thing. This is a TWT token to authenticate current connection. In real life, this token should be loaded from your application backend, but here for simplicity, let's generate it using built-in Centrifugo helper command called get token and pass some user ID to it. Let's say our user will have ID user1. We have a token. Let's put it into this place. And yeah, I think we can try to connect at this point. We need to serve index.html with some web server. Let's use one more Centrifugo helper command, Centrifugo serve. It serves index.html on port 3000. Let's open it. And let's open DevTools. Here we can see that we cannot connect to WebTransport endpoint and some problems with TLS certificates. Actually, the reason is that Chrome does not allow HTTP3 communication when we're using self-signed certificates. The documentation mentions this, and to deal with this, we need to find certificate fingerprint using this command. Let's do this and put our localhost.pem here. This string is certificate fingerprint. And we need to start Chrome forcing it to use quick on localhost 8000 where Centrifugo is running. And we need to pass a flag to ignore certificate errors for specific fingerprints. And let's use fingerprint we just found here. Oops. Like this. And wait, and while Chrome will open, nice, Chrome is open. Let's open localhost and look. Yeah, we are successfully connected over WebTransport. After we connected to WebTransport, we can actually use any features of Centrifuga. So we can create subscriptions, for example. Here we are creating subscription to channel, and for every publication from that channel, we are changing document title and page content. But for a subscription to be successful, we also need to add permission for client to subscribe to this channel. Let's allow subscribe for every client in top level Centrifuga channel namespace using allow subscribe for client option. Restart Centrifuga. And let's reload this page. Cool, we now connected over WebTransport and successfully subscribed to a channel. Now let's open Centrifuga web admin web UI. We need a password which we can find in configuration here. Go to actions, right channel here, and let's send some data into a channel. We can see that the title is updated here. We can see another channel, again updated, and content is updated. We can also try to restart Centrifuga and see what happens. We lost connection, and then client automatically reconnected to WebTransport endpoint. So client behaves properly here. Yeah, I think that's all. So in this video, we configured Centrifuga to use HTTP3, enabled WebTransport endpoint, and with the help of our Centrifuge JS JavaScript SDK, we connected to that endpoint. See you in next videos. Bye bye.